Hi everyone, Yap here. So welcome to the lesson 2 for the SysOps lab scenario. So today we will talk about the WAF lab scenario, and then for this time around I will do it differently, right? So first you need to maybe you want to try on the lab, right? So this is the instruction given to you, so you can actually try it out in your own AWS lab first before I explain it everything to you, right? So this will be like quite identical to the exam lah, right? So but it's more complex than the exam, right? So if you have done this, then exam should not be a problem to you, right? So you can actually screenshot this first and then try it out yourself, right? So just a reminder, don't click the create WebACL, as it may incur cost to your account, right? So if you have a credit, you can actually try this out lah, right? So without further ado, let's explain what we will be actually doing in this lab scenario, right? Let's go to the diagram first. So actually we will be creating a application load balancer here, okay, and then we will associate the load balancer to our WAF, our web application firewall. And then in our WAF we will create total of 5 rules, right? Not sure you get it correct or not, but it's total 5 rules, right? So we have 2 LFI rules, okay, and 2 IPSet rule and 1 rate-based rule, right? And then some of it we will be having a metric monitoring, and then some of the rule we have the request sampling, right? So let's go to the lab scenario. Okay, first you need to make sure you are in the Singapore region. The rest, so the second thing will be the default setting will be used unless there is a value specified. So if let's say we have specified value here, just follow it. So the rest just leave it as default, right? So basically if you see from the instruction 2, right, not necessarily we need to create from the first step, right? We can actually go to the identify which one should be created first, right? So in this case, first we will be creating the load balancer, because in the exam also they will jumble out the sequence to make you confused, right? So this one we will create a load balancer first, right? So let's go to this one. I'll go to EC2, okay, and then we go to load balancer. So before you create a load balancer, you need to create a target group first, right? So the target group is YAPTG with is an instant target group with HTTP protocol, right? So I make sure you snapshot this. Maybe I won't refer to this. I'll put in another screen, right? So we create a target group, instance, target group name, YAPTG, okay, protocol HTTP, the rest leave it default, next. Okay, this one, didn't mention anything, create target group. Okay, so after you create the target group, what you do, create load balancer, right? Load balancer, we will be create a load balancer. So application load balancer created, YAP ALB, right? This one leave it at default. So mapping, we will use all 3 of it, 1A, 1B, 1C. Okay, security group default, target group obviously YAPTG, okay, default, create. So we have created YAP ALB. So basically we have done the third step, right? The third point lah, right? Okay, next we will create a WebACL. So WebACL, what we do, we go to WAF, right? Okay, then we create a, make sure in your exam lab everything you create from here. Don't sometimes everything prompt over here will be like the quick access or the simple way for you to create something. So make sure you go here and then create, right? So the name for the WebACL, YAP-WebACL. So the CloudWatch metric name is the same, it will prompt automatically. Remember the region, you need to put Singapore. So you refresh, you need to type in again. YAP-WebACL. right? So Singapore, then we can choose our resource. Application load balancer, we can see it. If let's say the application load balancer you created a different region, you can't see it, right? So remember to make sure everything is in Singapore, right? So associate the application load balancer and click next. So basically we have done this, create the load balancer and then assign, associate it with the WebACL. Next, we will create a manage rule. It's the important thing, manage rule. And then to block all, okay, LFI attack. So this one is some attack to the web server to expose something inside the web server lah, like it. So you don't necessarily need to understand what is the local file intrusion, but you need to know how to configure it, okay. And then disable the request sampling. Okay, so first we will focus on these two first. Alright, so first one, we go to manage rule groups, okay, and then make sure it's a AWS managed rule group. The other will be need some subscription in the marketplace, right? So inside the AWS market rule group, scroll down. Okay, if let's say you're not sure what is LFI, you just search it, LFI. So total you have seen 2 LFI attack, right? So the instruction mentioned you need both, right? All the LFI attack, right? Block all the, right? So you just click all this and then you click add rules. So just to mention, if let's say they say the SQL injection, then you just search SQL injection, then you can see this. If it say bot attack, so you can actually go up and see something with the block control. So just search the terms here, right? So just add the rules here. So we have done this one for the Linux, this one for the POSIX, right? So we have done this, configure manage rule. Okay, next, configure a rule name rule 1 to allow all IP from this CIDR range. And don't, okay, so this one, disable the request sampling. Maybe in a few next step we will continue to this, haven't reached yet, right? So if you can't see anything inside the manager here, don't worry, at the end it will prompt out one, right? So just follow with me first. So this one is the IP to allow some IP and block some IP. So you need to remember IP, you need IPSet, right? So first we need to go and create the IPSet first, right? Let's go to another screen. And you see IPSet here. Okay, go and create it. So IPSet, doesn't matter what name you put lah, IPSet 1 lah, because this one they didn't mention inside the instruction, then you just put whatever you want, because it's not going to track what name you given to your IPSet. You will scan through whether the rule is correct or not. Make sure the region is Singapore, then we create our first IPSet, and then create another one, IPSet 2. Okay, region Singapore, then okay, IPSet. Okay, so you can see, no IPSet found. Why? Because this one is North Virginia. You go to Singapore, then you can see your IPSet, right? Okay, we have 2 IPSet. So remember, the region very important. Okay, so next we will add the rules. Okay, so this time round we use our own rule, and then we choose IPSet, and then the name. So this one is rule 1 first, rule 1. Okay, so rule 1 we will be having IPSet 1. Okay, just now I created, right? IPSet 1 is 10.1.0, right? So this one we're going to allow. Okay, so we're going to allow the IPSet 1, right? Okay, then add rules, quite straightforward. Okay, we have the rule 1, then we add another one, is rule 2. IPSet, forget. Okay, this one is rule 2. Okay, IPSet 2. Okay, this one we're going to block, correct? Add rules. Okay, one allow, one block. Okay, the third rule. Okay, so now we have done our rule 1. Okay, this one haven't done yet. Okay, and rule 2, right? So now this one will be a bit tricky. This is to allow 200 requests in a 5-minute period and block all requests coming from Kamada. So if have a period of time, you know it's a rated based rule, right? So just create our own rule, rate builder, rate base rule. This one is rule 3, right? Rate limit, okay, over 5-minute period, right? So what we specify, 200 requests, right? So this one just leave it as default. Okay, just to remind you, block all requests coming from Canada. So we need to not consider all requests, only consider requests. Okay, we choose the second option. If a request match the statement originate country in, choose Canada. Okay, action block, right? So make sure you choose this and then block, right? So everything is correct. Make sure it's 200. Sometimes you accidentally press something. Okay, add rules. Okay, so we have all the 3 rules. Okay, so we have done this. This one done already, right? Okay, so this one, disable request sampling, don't monitor in CloudWatch, and the priority rule. Okay, let's go through this one. Done already. Okay, next. Okay, set rule priority. So which one is going to be the priority? Okay, so this one, right, is the rule 2 going to be the priority. So we're going to set it to the top, just move up, right? Okay, the rest default, right? Next. So Amazon CloudWatch metric, this one is to monitor the request, right? Which one we're not going to monitor? This one we done it. Don't monitor the metric in CloudWatch. So this one is rule 1, we don't monitor. Okay, so let's go back. Rule 1, we uncheck it, right? And then another one, this one we disable in the CloudWatch metric. Another one is disable the request sampling for the local file intrusion, right? Okay, so this one you should, this request sampling option, enable with exclusion. Okay, so which 2 we're going to LFI attack, right? These 2 we're going to exclude, right? So this one a bit complex a bit but you should understand one right? So this one, choose the rule you want to disable request sampling. So we choose these 2, and then this one we don't want to have the monitoring, right? Then click next. Okay, then review one more time, and then you can create your WebACL, right? So I'm not going to create here, but if you have, you can create it, because this will incur cost maybe I will just create it but if you don't have any credit, don't create it okay, it will take some time to create. So let us just revise a bit, right? So basically we have done creating the ALB, right, with the target group. Okay, and then we assign our ALB into our WAF, WebACL, and in our WAF we created 5 rules. Okay, remember the first 2 rules is the AWS managed rules. Okay, so I want to block all the LFI attacks, so that's why I search using the search function in the Google, and then I search these 2 rules and I enable the rules, right? So you block the LFI. And then the second, the third rule will be the IP rule. So remember to create the IPSet, and then remember to put it in Singapore region. So you can create the IPSet rules in Singapore region, and then one is allow and one is block, remember, right? So we done the IPSet rule, then we create the rate based rule, okay, and then block everything originate from Singapore. Block everything originate from Canada, right? I didn't write here, okay. So remember, you create the rate based rule, 200 requests for 5 minutes, and then block everything from Canada. Remember to choose the statement, not all requests, choose custom requests, right? And then in the last step, remember, just to make sure this one, you move it up to the top to become the priority rules to be monitored first before the rest of the rules, right? So this one, you move it to the top, and then on the next page, you have the metric monitoring, right? So just uncheck the rule 1 for metric monitoring, right? And then request sampling, you use a custom method, and then you just click these two LFI rules. Just don't let it to have a request sampling, right? So that's it. This is the lab, and then this is the scenario. We're going to go through it. Hope when you try it out, you will get the same as what I did, right? Then congrats. If not, you can just follow through my lesson and then learn it. So you can see I successfully created WebACL. So actually, if let's say you created it, you can go in and check. Let's say in the exam you can double confirm. Okay. So overview, of course, nothing here, right? You see all the rules is here, right? And then the rules, you can see total 5 rules, and then even at here you can actually add in the rules if let's say you miss out or anything, right? So you can see the rule priority, this one is priority 0, which means on the top, right? So check correctly, everything is correct. Then you go to the port control, nothing here. So associate AWS resource, make sure your ARB is associated, right? Login and metric, okay. So sample request, so you can see this rule have no sample request generated, correct, right? So logging, nothing. Okay, CloudWatch metric, okay. You can see total 5 here, but I remember I disabled for rule 1. You can edit, and then you can see rule 1 is still disabled, so you do it correctly, yeah. And then what else? I think nothing else. I think that's it. Remember, if let's say you done already, you remember to delete it even though you have credit, remember to delete it because this one costs you quite a lot. Oh shit. Never mind, I will figure out how to delete it. Maybe there's some resource. I think the ARB I need to unassociate first, then only delete, right? So I think that's it for today. Okay, hope you like the AWS lab training, and then if you like my video, don't forget to subscribe me. If I done anything wrong, don't forget to comment me or need some improvement or anything. I know my English is still not the native English, right? So thank you for watching. Bye bye.